welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to talk about the Athletic Hall of Fame of the Lower Peninsula, which is something you may not even know we have. So today you're going to learn something. My guests are sports newscaster, John Castleberry, and Bud Porter, longtime player, coach, and involved in sports. And I don't know a whole lot about the Athletic Hall of Fame, so I'm going to assume the audience out there doesn't either. And tell us about it a little bit, Bud, because there's more than one in the state. It gets a little confusing.
Yes, it does. Robin, we started in 1971. We inducted our first class in 1971. I should tell you that the criteria are people who were born and raised on the peninsula or have lived on the peninsula in the cities of Hampton, Newport News, Poquoson, and York County.
Okay, so it's a multi-jurisdictional. See, I think of it as Hampton. It is in Hampton, but it's broader than that.
Yes, it is. Actually, it covers the peninsula up to Williamsburg. We do not include Williamsburg.
Okay. And one of the things I think that, because it is just the four jurisdictions, it gives us a chance to honor people who maybe don't make it to that state level, and also focus on high school and the truly local people. I mean, many have gone on to achieve greatness, but we have a pretty outstanding history of sports here.
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, Robin, we are inducting 6 people in this class. Every one of these 6 people would qualify for our state Hall of Fame, or in some cases, National Hall of Fames. And we do have one of our inductees that has already been inducted into a National Hall of Fame. So we have incredible athletes and coaches on this peninsula.
Wow, I really forget that. So let's go ahead and talk about this year's class. You said a little more on the coaching side, or they've had 4 of the 6 have had some coaching background?
John and I were just talking, yes. We have a 6-member class going in.
Okay.
We have 4 of the 6, John, I think, are coaches.
Are primarily coaches, but really all 6 have coached in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. It's hard to get out of sports. It's like you know, once you're in there, you're in.
Well, these people primarily are teachers. You know, they're athletes, ex-athletes, and they're teachers and coaches, yes.
Yeah, they keep giving back to younger kids the opportunities that they had.
Right, and they've enjoyed some incredible success, and in many cases, somebody like a Charlie Nuttycombe, who coached so many years in Newport News and put so many athletes through there. He was a great athlete in his own right before he got into coaching. C.J. Woolham also.
CJ, well, okay, big. Even I've heard that name. Some of these names are big enough that non-sports people have heard them.
Well, CJ is one that was a coach and then became an athletic director. I think his legacy at Christopher Newport is probably as an athletic director.
Oh,
right.
And he's probably the winningest coach there in their history. So we have a lot of talent like that.
Speaking of winning coaches, Dennis Kozlowski at Bethel High School, football and track and field.
Yeah.
Dennis is a legend.
He is. How many years has he been around?
A long time. Dennis was coaching back in the 60s.
Uh-oh.
Yes, he was.
He might not want us to say that out loud.
And by the same token, Charlie Hovis from Tabb High School in York County won a couple of state championships. Of course, a couple of his players are nationally known players, Chris Slade and Terry Kirby. Went on to All-America fame at Virginia, and then both of them played in the National Football League. And Charlie Hovis is a perfect example of a teacher coach, you know, that
has had an impact on a lot of people.
Yes, indeed. To list the others, Joe Buggs, Carol Frank, Dennis Kozlowski, Charlie Nuttycombe, Charlie Hovis, C.J. Woolham. That's our class that's going in. Outstanding class. Their records are incredible. As John pointed out, they're all athletes first and then became coaches later. So they have legacies as players, outstanding. Joe Buggs was a heck of an athlete.
Down at Elizabeth City State.
Yeah, he's in their Hall of Fame, as well as...
What sport? I'm going to guess, I'm going to be wrong.
He was a football player.
I thought she was going to guess.
I was going to guess baseball, so I would have been wrong. I know the names sometimes from the headlines and from seeing them, but one of the things, though, about the Athletic Hall of Fame is that it doesn't just focus on the basketball and the football. And it doesn't just focus on the male players who are sometimes the better known. I mean, I've been back through that list, and there's golf people.
Yeah, it's all sports. It's sailing, it's racquetball, it's cycling.
Yeah.
I was looking over the inductees, John, and we have golfers.
Right.
The first female who went into our hall was a tennis player, an outstanding tennis player. Carol Frankie's going in this year. Her expertise primarily is in soccer.
Soccer. So I'm not familiar with that name.
Racquetball.
Really?
And cycling.
Later on.
That's right.
So that's three sports you don't
Cycling
hear
is
a
one of
whole
those
lot
sports
about.
sometimes you can pick up when you're a little bit older. Maybe the other
Well,
ones
you don't
beat
lose
you
a
up too
competitive
bad.
drive, so you got to figure out a way to channel that drive.
Right.
But yeah, she's been an outstanding athlete, and to this day is still very competitive.
You know, being born and raised in Hampton, I consider Hampton a football town. My Newport News friends, you know, they like to talk about their great basketball teams, but what John just said, we have a lot of people in the hall that are in what we call minor sports. Certainly they don't call them minor sports, but as John pointed out, football, baseball, basketball gets the big play.
Right.
But we have outstanding golfers and tennis players and track people. I guess we have some of the greatest track athletes that have ever come out.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, track is we've done very well in track. Certainly, you look at.
And Dennis Kozlowski won state championships in track as well as in football,
Right.
as John again pointed out.
And some of the records that we'll hear about that night, the All-Americans they've coached, the state championships they've won, just phenomenal. But also the impact they had on these people's lives, and they still keep in touch with their former athletes today. We're talking about the coaches here in particular, but the night itself, May 4th. At the Boo Williams complex.
Now, and this is something I don't think people know either. You don't have to know the honorees. You just have to be a sports fan. You just have to want to be a part of this. Anybody can go. Anybody can get a ticket.
Thank you, Robin. It is open to the public. All you have to have is a love of sports. And as John pointed, let me please get this out. It's May 4th, which is a Sunday evening.
Okay.
We start at 6 o'clock. As John said, we're at the Boo Williams Sportsplex.
Which is a wonderful building.
Wonderful facility. They did a wonderful job 3 years ago when we inducted our last class. You must purchase your tickets through the City of Hampton, Parks and Recreation, Lincoln Street, downtown Hampton.
Okay.
And that's also the Boo Williams Sports Complex is now where the Hall of Fame actually resides.
And I think that people who, they have the the walkers can go through that building.
Right.
It is a, building that's open a lot. And you have plaques on display that talk about the recipients or the honorees. I don't know exactly how you term them. And a little more information. It's amazing to stand in that and get a feeling for how many people and how well they've done and how many lives they've impacted.
For years it was housed at the Hampton Coliseum, but this made a lot more sense with the Boo Williams. So much traffic through there. It's open most of the time, and it's just a great place to have it. And we have the banquet in the facility as well. They've got a great night planned. We'll have a video tribute to each of the 6 inductees where they have somebody that they impacted their lives. We've got relatives speaking on their behalf. We've got competitors speaking on their behalf. And then, unfortunately, we've got a couple of the inductees who are no longer with us, but they've got family members who will be there on their behalf. And it's just a great comprehensive night to honor some people who've done a lot of great things.
And this only happens every 3 years. You got to take your chance now.
Robin, I would like to point out, I would like to give a shout out and accolades to our mayor, George Wallace.
Former athlete and a big sports
he has done
fan.
a wonderful job with this hall.
Raised athletes,
yes.
Yeah.
While he was city manager, he kind of took this hall over. He put continuity to it and elected a committee, which now we get together and we work on this thing. And let me tell you, we work on it. We get an incredible amount of nominations, and we have to break it down to 6 inductees. But George Wallace has supported us, and the City of Hampton has supported us tremendously for this event.
That's good. And that is the other thing I was going to say. Now we're inducting the class. I mean, they've already been selected, but every 3 years we do a very public, you can nominate anybody you want, tell us who you think belongs here. And people should keep that in the back of their mind, you know.
Well, Bud, how many did you guys have to sift through this year to get down to the 6?
We started off with about 27. I think out of the 27, there were like 3 or 4 that did not meet the criteria. But after that, it's difficult. They are all so talented, and they all have wonderful credentials, and it's tough. Believe you me, we have some very vivid discussion on our committee about trying to narrow it down to 6 people.
And now some of these honorees will be there that evening, I assume. And in other cases, as you said, it might be family members.
Yeah, as far as we know, 4 of the 6 who are still with us will be there. A lot of family, a lot of friends. But again, we encourage everybody to show up. And of course, there's more information on the city website. Sports Hall of Fame, or Lower Peninsula has its own little tab there, I think. But
yeah,
anything you can do, it's a great night.
As John pointed out, we have two members who are being inducted posthumously. I'm sure their family members are going to be there, Charlie Hovis and C.J. Woolham, both very popular people in our community. As John pointed out, lots of people loved them. Lots of people they made huge impacts on their lives. So I'm looking for a lot of support in that arena. But it is open to the public. We encourage the public. We want the public to get more involved and come out. It's a wonderful evening.
I bet that would be really entertaining. Just the videos alone, but also being in the room, being a part of that sports community. Fans are a part. Yeah. I mean, they usually sit in the stands. Why not come, buy a ticket, and really join in the celebration? You know,
I have to give a shout out to John. He does these videos, and they are wonderful. You don't have to worry about somebody getting up to the microphone and ranting and raving for 20 minutes. John puts this thing in video form. It's wonderful. It's concise. It's to the point. And as he said, he has other people, other coaches, family connections, ex-athletes that talk about, and it's from the heart. It's wonderful.
Yeah. That sounds wonderful. Okay, well, if I miss the event, I'm going to try to get the videos from you. Maybe we can air them here on 47.
That's a great idea.
Okay. All right, so tell us one more time when it is and how to get tickets.
Sunday, May 4th, starting right around 6 o'clock. It's at the Boo Williams Sports Complex. You got to go through the city to get tickets, but it's a great night. A lot of video, a lot of camaraderie, great food as well. And just a great night to celebrate all these achievements for these people on the peninsula.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Bud, and thank you, John. I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I hope you've learned about the Sports Hall of Fame and will consider, if you're a sports fan, going to the banquet or going to the Boo Williams facility, walking around and sort of being in the presence of all these amazing athletes who have really contributed to our community. Thank you.